This video is brought to you by Banks. Now, having the latest iPhone and using it as a Nokia 3310, essentially just making calls and leaving everything else stock, is kind of 90s. And since a lot of you asked for it, I decided to do an updated version to my popular How to Get the Most Out of guide, featuring the latest generation iPhones. From beginner's concepts, tips and tricks to cool accessories, this video is suited for everyone who wants to use their iPhone to its fullest, no matter if it's an older version. Starting with the action button on the iPhone 15 Pro models. This is a very useful button which by default serves as the silent switcher. But if you take the time, you can really expand it to serve you multiple purposes. In my case, I've created an action menu, as I call it, which I can use for a lot of things, from opening my blinds in the studio to playing and broadcasting music. You can do the same and create a similar menu that fits your needs. If you're not sure how to do this, feel free to follow my step-by-step guide in my newsletter, which I'll link here and in the description below. And by the way, if you end up enjoying this video, subscribe, because why not? But what if you have an iPhone that has the regular old silent switcher? In that case, you can simulate the action button and trigger the action menu in question with the help of double or triple tapping on the back of the device. This is a feature you can enable under the accessibility settings and essentially trigger the same shortcut we've created just as the action button on the 15 Pro. Regardless if you live in the Apple ecosystem or not, you should think about taking advantage of a cloud service to have quick and easy access to the files from your computer. I, for example, use iCloud, and since it's tightly integrated with iOS and my other Apple devices, I always have access to my desktop and pretty much all my files, allowing me to pick up where I left off on the computer, something that has saved me a ton while being out and about. That same tight integration saves me valuable time with features such as Universal Clipboard and AirDrop. Universal Clipboard allows me to copy and paste things from my Mac to, let's say, my iPhone and vice versa, which is something I use a ton every single day. AirDrop is perhaps something that you're very familiar with, and that is the ability to send files instantly between the Mac and the iPhone. Furthermore, you can use Continuity Camera to use the iPhone as a webcam, which is just next level. What's even cooler here is that you don't need to enable any special settings. You just have to select the iPhone as your camera no matter the meetings app you use, as long as the device is in close proximity. Now, to mount the iPhone to your MacBook, for example, it's a good idea to grab an attachment like this Belkin MagSafe ring, which has a tiny lip allowing the iPhone to stay in place for that specific purpose. But we'll talk about accessories in a moment. While on the topic of software, feel free to explore the Shortcuts app. It is a fantastic and very powerful free app that you can use to create various shortcuts like the action button that I mentioned, or my file shortcut, which I use to jump directly into specific folders instantly. I have a tutorial on how to create such a file shortcut in my latest Ultimate iPhone home screen video, which I'll link at the end of this one. Few camera use cases that not many people take advantage of are using the cutout feature to create cool collages, which is great considering the upcoming holiday season, and also spending some time to generate fun custom stickers which you can just send around, chats as reactions. This all happens by just holding your finger on the subject of a photo to either cut out or create a sticker. Taking the maximum out of your iPhone also means personalizing it and optimizing it. I am a preacher of using a single home screen for all my needs, and that was the entire topic of my ultimate home screen tutorial. One way to keep everything tight and clean is to use apps such as Widget to install powerful widgets like the latest one I just released. This widget not only gives me a glimpse of what matters most to me, like the time, week, and what day it is, but given it's winter time, I can glance at the forecast and weather conditions without having to open the weather app at all. It is just there right in front of me. Additionally, this widget gives me quick access to my Files app as well as my Notes app, which are two of the most used apps for me, which means I don't need to keep them additionally on the home screen. If you like this widget, I'll be sure to put it in the description below, as well as the At a Glance widget from the last video, which everyone really loved. Another tinkering app worth investigating is called Lock Launcher, which offers a bunch of customization options like display apps directly on the lock screen and my favorite, customizing the dynamic island. Okay, so let's talk accessories. I'll start with two Banks cases that cover my favorite aspects in case design: minimalism and military-grade protection. If you want to rock your 15 as minimal as possible, the Armor Air Protective case is the perfect way to do so. It's super sleek and thin, built with 600D DuPont Kevlar fiber, making it as light as air yet strong as steel. What I love in particular is the raised camera protection with this luxurious metal frame. The magnetic force, on the other hand, is super strong, just like on the second case that I want to show you, the Armor Pro. It is certified, exceeding the military-grade standard while remaining surprisingly compact. It is again built with 600D DuPont Kevlar fiber with delicate structure and improved grip. Pair that with Banks Glass Warrior screen protector, which is treated with crystal hardness coating for 30,000 times scratch resistance and 66% strengthened edge, and you'll be protected all around. So be sure to check out the first link in the description below and use my special code to grab 20% off site-wide.
Okay, so something I forgot to mention while I was talking about shortcuts earlier is an automation that is worth creating yourself right away. So, you know the time when your battery gets depleted and you're getting like the 20 or 30% mark? Well, in that case, here's something that you should do on the iPhone. Go to shortcuts, then go to the automations, and I'll just delete this one, which I created earlier. Go to the plus sign and say that whenever battery level falls below a certain percentage, it could be any percent you like. Let's say 30%. Then look for set low power mode. So whenever the iPhone hits the 30% mark in terms of battery, the iPhone will automatically turn on low power mode. You can create the opposite automation, which will be whenever the battery rises above 30%, then turn low power mode off. It is as simple as that, and it's actually very handy.
With the addition of USB-C to the latest iPhone 15 models, you can now take advantage of that port to distribute power to other devices. The most used case for me is charging my Apple Watch using the default charging cable, but you can think of even more compact solutions, which I'll link in the description alongside the other products that I'll show you. While on the topic of USB-C, if you have the latest Pro models and you want to take your shooting capabilities to the next level, you should think of an SSD drive so you can record log externally as well as, dump files when necessary. Shooting externally also means you're not restricted by your internal iPhone storage, so if you plan to get a 15 Pro for that purpose, you don't have to worry about investing a ton in internal space. I find these SanDisk drives better than the popular Samsung T series, as they literally work cooler and don't throttle as much.
With clever tools like this DJI mic that attaches to the iPhone with the help of USB-C, you can create videos where you sound fantastic. It records directly on the iPhone, and it has this little lav attachment that you can use the magnets to attach to your shirt, and you can have the iPhone right next to you, sounding much better, or have the actual device further away while you present from a distance wirelessly. Those little mics sound fantastic, and the difference between this and the built-in mic of the iPhone 15 or any of the iPhones cannot compare at all. But you'll be able to judge that. Let me know in the comment section below what you think, how it sounds like. And actually, I'll unplug that in a second and I'll show you what it sounds like without it. I'm creating a video with the built-in mic of the iPhone 15 Pro to see what it sounds like compared to the DJI mic.
With the ability to play AAA games like Resident Evil, it will be a crime not to try a decent external controller. 8-bit DOS Ultimate Controller is absolutely fantastic for that purpose. It is super ergonomic, plenty customizable, and it even comes with a charging dock, which will ensure it is always ready to use. But you know what they're saying, the best camera is the one that you always have with you, and I think that same principle applies to controllers. So if you're always on the go like me, you can grab the light version of the same company and keep it in your backpack. If you travel even lighter, there's this 8-bit DOS microcontroller, which is just too cute to ignore. Believe it or not, this is a fully fledged tiny controller that is so adorable that you might want to carry it as a keychain just because it looks so awesome. To prop the iPhone while playing, you can go in the direction of a MagSafe wallet that transforms into a stand, or you use something like this Peak Design mobile tripod. It is again compact, super sturdy, and it's made from metal, and you can pretty much prop your device any way you like. Additionally, you can use it as a vlogging stick. Of course, if you want to step it up a notch, the Insta360 Flow is the ultimate foldable gimbal that also serves as a selfie stick. It packs a bunch of clever AI features, but most of all, it will provide you with that steady footage you might require without taking up a lot of space when folded. As for sound, you can never go wrong with either of the AirPods models. After all, they're made to work best with the iPhone. Alternatively, you can look for something like those OnePlus Buds Pro, which offer noise cancelling and great comfort similar to the AirPods Pro, but for the price of the AirPods 3. I got those with my OnePlus Open, but I slowly started carrying them all the time and using them daily because they're really nice. When it's time to actually broadcast what you're listening to and maybe, have a little party or just have a deep and quiet, beats in the background, the Marshall Emberton will blow your mind. This speaker that has the same footprint as your phone will absolutely shock you once you hit the play button. It sounds as rich and punchy as speakers 3 times the size, while packing a battery life of over 30 hours. In terms of aesthetics, I think it's unmatched as well. As for charging, I always keep some sort of an external MagSafe battery at my disposal. Most recently, this Ugreen 10,000 mAh version, which, as you can guess by the name, has plenty of juice to top up my 15 Pro and in fact up to 3 devices at the same time. It even has a kickstand, which is very handy. While on the topic of power, this 67-watt original Macintosh-inspired brick by Charge will be a great addition in your backpack because aside from charging your iPhone, it can be used to charge your tablet and even your laptop. It's super compact, and let's be honest, it's a real head turner. If you're looking for more substantial charging options like this Storm 2 Powerbank and maybe some great MagSafe mounting solutions, I suggest you check out my previous favorite iPhone accessories episode right here. Like and subscribe to the channel as well as my newsletter, and as always, it's been an absolute pleasure. This is Z, over and out.